What's up, guys? ClutchFan37 here, bringing you what I assumed would be the first review of the Warrior Warp, but the more I think about it and the more I have planned out this video, it's probably going to be a multi-part video. So the first part's going to be the overview, talking about it, my experiences with it so far. So anyway, the Warrior Warp, as I'm sure most of you, if not all of you know, Warrior's newest addition to lacrosse. Supposedly it's supposed to take away stringing. It's supposed to be the most consistent thing in the world. You guys should know all the details by now. So, unfortunately, the store I work at will not carry them and does not have any. So, I had to go to Lacrosse Unlimited near me and physically pick one up and buy one at full retail. So, talking about that, $250, or to be exact, $262.50 for the Warrior Warp is absurd in my opinion. I would much rather spend $130 on a brand new head and a stringing kit and do it myself, just because, as many people argue, stringing a stick is part of the pastime and tradition, which is true, but also not true. And there's a lot more things to go into it, but I'll get into that in a different part of the video. So, Warrior Warp comes in this snazzy box. It says Warp, has the Warrior design. Right here it says Evo Mid Pocket on that sticker. So, the first thing when I saw that was they're going to, I'd assume in the future, offer multi heads and multi pockets. Obviously, they have the mid and the mid low in the Evo Warp, at least for now. So what's cool about the box, besides the box itself, is the texture to it. It has the Warp pocket texture on the front, the sides, the back, so you kind of get a feel of what it looks like and what it, I don't know, pretty much just what it looks like. So when you open the box, it is a magnetic box, so this part closes, locks. It's not coming out, which, nice little touch. So you open it up, and this is what you see. Warp right there, the head. So let's take it out. I got the mid-pocket variation just because I feel like that would be the most ideal for me. I did go into my local Lacrosse Limited and play around with both of them, and I like the mid-pocket more, just because it's more my style, has a bit more whip to it. So here it is, very different, very unique, but I'll get into that a little bit. So the first thing you'll notice is it has the lock throat technology to it, this snazzy little thing right there. But it's very different than the gate butt ends that used to be around and the Warrior regulator head. With the regulator head, you threw it on a shaft, put a screw in there, called it good. So when I first saw this, I thought it was the same thing. The only difference was the screw hole was up here. But that also turned out to be very wrong. There's a lot more into it. So you get the head out, and then inside the box, you get this nice little booklet. I thought it was just information on it, but it actually has the way to install this on your head. Starts off with this, and then it gets into the actual part of the booklet, which is the installing of the new lock throat technology. So it just gives you step by step, and for being honest, the first time I put this on a shaft, it took me 15 minutes or so to get it right, partially because I may be a little challenged at doing this, and partially because it's a lot different than what we're used to. So to show you, there is also a bag that comes with it. It has an extra ball stop, or I guess throat stop, has a big hole for the screw. Then it has two of these large screws, wow, which at first really threw me off because they're huge. They don't fit in your normal standard lacrosse head or shaft, so I figured those go in the throat. Then it comes with two of these nice little plugs, which I also had no idea what they were for because, believe it or not, I didn't look at the booklet until after the fact I opened it, or opened the bag with all the stuff in it. So, got these nifty little things. And then, of course, it comes with a screw in case you want to be the standard person and put the screw in the head. But same thing, extremely small screw. So I looked at that, looked at the back of the head. There is a small hole right here for a screw, but it's not all the way in. It's more or less an indentation, and you have to physically screw it in. So to show you how to put this in, I'm going to put it on a Warrior diamond shaft. Just keep it all Warrior. So initially, how it shows you to do, and I'll probably fast forward through this part, is So after you do that and you get it on, which is actually a lengthy process, it would have gone a lot faster if I had a power drill, but I didn't think that part through before I made this video. So here it is, all put on the shaft. So the first thing you'll notice about the Evo Warp is the mesh part itself. It is very soft, but it's also very thick. So when you go to rub your hand through it, you'll notice the pocket doesn't move a whole lot. It doesn't shift. It will shift a little bit, given that it is that, but it's very soft, just very tight. The yellow part around it is Kevlar, which the more I study it, the more I don't really understand how they attach it to the head, unless the head is almost like a box or a shell, where you have one part, you put the Kevlar in there, you put the other part on top, and it kind of locks it in. But I don't know. I don't know if that's possible. I'm sure Chris and Mainly Mesh could probably tell me and let the world know. So, getting into the actual pocket itself, it says this is a mid pocket, which, I mean, if you were to put this down here like that, I could see it. It doesn't shift a whole lot going low. It just kind of sits there naturally, so it's more for the two-handed MIDI. It can cradle low, but it doesn't really do a very good job at it. Aesthetic-wise, the shooting strings, which is this row and this row, I believe, they are more tightly woven, but the issue I found with it, and as many people know who have played with one, it clicks off the top of the head almost too aggressively for my opinion. I personally like it just because when I string my sticks, I do like it to hit the top of the head a little bit. So it works out for me, but for the average lacrosse player who doesn't like that, probably not the best idea. So if you watch when I travel my hand through, you know, it sits, it starts to bend upward here, and then once you get to this part, it flattens out, and you can see it's just a nice smooth transition. And you can see how my hand's hitting the top of the head. So that was a little unique. So that's pretty much the aesthetics of it. The Evo design, or the Evo Warp, has all these hexagonal, futuristic looks to it. The scoop itself, back part of the scoop, pretty cool. Trying to keep, I don't know, I guess, the best I can with this review. Evo Warp on one side, Warrior on the other. I've had this, got this morning, messed around with it, and the Evo Warp and stuff's already tending to come off, or at least chip off or something, so don't know how it is. When I was in the store looking at the Evo Warp, here on the inside of the sidewall, it was broken in two different places in the store, so I don't know how good of plastic they used. It doesn't feel like Warrior's normal plastic, but won't know until, you know, someone uses one consistently. So now I'll put a ball in it and talk about the pocket. Alright, so now I got a ball, and I'll show you. It's hard to see, but naturally when it sits in the head, I'll do this. It really, it moves around very easily. It almost feels like the mesh, since it's so thick, it's hard for it to really sit in one place in the pocket, which I like and don't like. One of the things with this, the mid pocket has this big gap right here, which is supposed to hold the ball. The low pocket has one here and one down lower. But I don't feel like that's enough to really give it the necessary hold most people are used to if you have someone string your stick or you string your own stick and you know what you like. So that goes back to the pocket shifting. It's hard to see with a white ball or a ball in general, but you can see as it travels upward and gets this shooting string, it feels pretty good. And then it comes up here, so you can see right here how it pushes up against that, stretches out, and then clicks off the top of the head. So you can see just looking at it, that's just moving a ball through it normally. This part more indented, and then once you hit this bottom shooting string, it goes back down and then to the pocket. Don't know how I feel about it yet. I haven't used it enough to know if this part on the top will stretch out to where it clicks off even harder and more aggressively, but it's just a thing, time will tell. So overall, those are the aesthetics of it and the looks. The first thing you'll notice. Passing with it, it's surprisingly, or not necessarily surprisingly, but it's very consistent. If you pass aiming for a certain brick or a certain spot on the wall and you have the same throwing motion, it'll go there every time. Definitely liked it. Shooting with it, a little more different. I will do a video of passing and shooting. That'll be the second or third installment of this review. But for now, one thing I notice when I go to cradle, I like to do a nice power cradle before an outside shot. And with this, when you power cradle, especially my stick, the ball will sit a little higher under the shooting string. This one, it stays put right there. When it comes out, it doesn't have as much whip as you'd like. It's a little hard to do an elevator shot or submarine, whatever you want to call it, where you start low and go high. You really have to use your body instead of your wrists. Overhand, pretty consistent. Sidearm, I mean, it comes out where you aim it. It's just a matter of, moving your body in the right way. So with all that being said, $250 I think is a bit pricey for the Evo Warp. With the technology, it's very cool, but I don't really see this specific model or this installment of the Warp to be geared towards the advanced player, just because someone like me who uses a decent amount of whip in their stick and is used to it, I'm able to dodge around a defender or move my body slightly to where I can snap a shot around them, underhand, for example. But with this, it's all fundamentals. That's one of the reasons I feel like Tyler Pace at DU and any of the other DU guys who use this are very, they use it very well, because the way they have their program set up is everything is fundamentals to a T. Most shots are overhand. Their passing style, it's, if you ever watch a DU game, listen to the commentator, especially Quint, he says that Trevor Tierney or Bill Tierney, one of the two, makes them string their sticks for passing. So that's why the Warp works for them. Me personally, I don't know how I feel about it just yet. Passing, I like it. It's growing on me. The more you use it, the more you start to like it. Shooting will take some getting used to, but this is definitely not a stick I see myself physically playing with in a game consistently, at least for now. So pros and cons. Pros, super consistent. It's unique, it's different, it's something that will definitely draw a lot of attention on the field. I'm sure if you guys walk into Lacrosse Unlimited and you saw this, your first question is, what is that thing? What does it do? You want to mess around with it. That's at least how I was. Cons, price, it's different. A lot of people are scared of difference, or different aspects of lacrosse, or stuff like that, like stringing wise. I don't know. I just don't know how I feel about this head just yet. So we'll see how it goes. Man, it's one of those things where the more you use it, the more you start to like it, but the more you also start to question it. I love it for passing. It feels very nice. I like the very subtle click off the top of the head, and it builds fundamentals. It's hard to, I don't know. There's a lot of ifs, ands, and buts with this thing. I'll explain in a different video, but that's the overview. Installing it, fairly difficult unless you know what you're doing. You've done it before. Looks of it doesn't look that bad. It looks very unique. I mean, from a distance, it looks kind of cool. It also looks like a jock strap, but that's beside the point. Just like I was saying, how this part seems to be a lot looser than the actual part itself. So when you go to shoot and pass, consistent release and then hits the top of the head. Don't know if many people like it. Don't know if I do, but we'll see. So thanks for watching, guys. That's the first look at a Warrior Warp. Let me know in the comments below if you guys have tried it, on your opinions. Hopefully you guys don't start disliking the video because it's a Warrior Warp. It's one of those things where I feel we need innovation in lacrosse for it to keep growing, but at the same time, this may be, it's a hit and miss with Warrior. This could either blow up in the next couple of years, or it could just be, a bust. Little more insight real quick. This is only the first part of the Warp. There's a lot more in the works. Supposedly there's going to be a test or something where you mess around with a stick, Warrior figures out, like what kind of puck you like and things like that, and they will physically make you a personalized Warrior Warp to play the way that you play. That's in the works. Probably won't be out for a while. So this is all we have to work with. So you can pick one up at Lacrosse Unlimited, or at least try one out. I'm sure other stores will have one. And, before you guys bash it, I highly suggest that you guys use one and try it out. I'm a hypocrite because I bashed this thing for the longest time until I physically played with one, and it really has changed my mind about the Warp. Like I said, I don't see myself physically playing with this in a game or practice consistently or ever using it as my go-to stick, but it's cool to have. It's unique, it's different, and to be honest, I'm excited to see in the next couple months how many players make the switch over to the Warrior Warp and everyone else's opinion once they finally have one. Um, so thanks for watching, guys. As always, sorry, brain fart. Anyway, I said thanks for watching like 3 times, so Warrior Warp, definitely check one out. More videos coming in the next couple weeks of shooting and passing and my overall review. This is just your basic overview.